So, I've been thinking a lot recently about hands. They are so important basically in everything. And at the very beginning, when I met Steve, I was a little, sarcastic about his concern not to cut his fingers or something until I started doing the same and I completely understand. Even when I have a little bit rough here, sometimes I wash too much something and you have rough uh, tops of your fingers. When I do the gypsy thread, it sort of catches. So it is important, but it's also like the magic is here, but it's happening very often here with this. So I like performance, not only in magic, in all theater and plays and everything, when they take out their wedding rings and everything what doesn't belong to the play or to the show. So I like the most, that's what I do, I perform with hands without any rings, because I don't want them to concentrate on my rings, even if they might be beautiful. I want them to concentrate what the hands are doing or on the trick.
Hands are the tools of the magician. And if you ever meet a lifelong magician, his hands are going to be soft like a baby's hands because he protects his hands. He's not the guy that's changing the tire, although there was a plumber, Larry Jennings, that had very thick, calloused meatloaf sort of hands that did have a delicate touch with the sleight of hand. But that's the exception. The rule is they mostly have manicured nails and very soft skin. These hands that were molded up here, I got them from a store that was closing that had them as part of a display. And what drew me to them, when I was a boy, a famous magician, Dai Vernon, molds were made of his hands that were used to cast an award for the Academy of Magical Arts. They gave an award to the magician and had this famous magician's hands. And that's why when I saw these hands, I was drawn to them and I had to own them. This poster of Carter Beats the Devil was a great advertisement. And even though Carter was more of an illusionist, more of a box turner than he was a sleight of hand artist, you'll notice how beautifully long and slender the fingers are and how articulate the hands have been drawn in this poster. I'm not sure if his hands really look like that or not, but that's what you think of when you think of the ideal set of fingers on the end of an arm that would be a magician. The same kind of fingers that might play a violin. Here, the hands are very prominent in this Keller poster, and even though I'm reasonably sure when he floated the lady, lightning bolts did not come out of his fingers, to accentuate the hands and make the real power seem to come from the magician, they've added those bolts of lightning coming out of sparks, whatever they are, that really add to that poster. And in fact, most all magic posters have very prominent hands in them. This is Alexander. He was a famous superstar of vaudeville. He did a mind-reading act, and he answered questions from the audience. They would say, what am I, he would give them advice like an astrologer or a palmistry person would. And the hand is really great holding the crystal ball there, and I love the scarab ring on his finger there. You don't see too many scarabs these days, especially on a finger. This was the poster for our show at Magicopolis, Escape Reality. You notice that's me, Steve Spill, that's Bozina. We co-star in the show, Escape Reality, at Magicopolis. And the hands are very visible here too. We a little bit took the idea of the Keller sparks coming off his hand. Ours are more swirling stars as Bozina is floating there. You could see how her hands are around the crystal ball as she gazes into the future. And There's some few severed limbs here from the sawing picture. And you'll notice how my wrists are chained to the table of terror here. And you can see how my hands are in a death-like grip. When I was 16 years old, I looked like this. At the time, I wrote a little book of magic tricks that was called My Hands Can Be Yours. In the years since, I thought it was a bad title given to me by the publisher that I went along with. But today, I love the title because it's a perfect finish for my wife's film.